For those with good taste.
Welcome back, Tasties and Tastettes, to another episode of FTWGT Weekly. It's your boy Lenny, joined again by the creator of not one, but two subreddits, D. Squarius T. Jones. Dante, how are you?
I don't own a single subreddit, but I'm good.
He is the moderator.
What subreddit would I... Oh, you're about to tell us.
He's the moderator of, first and foremost, the Obi Trice. Obi Trice subreddit. And the Honey Boo Boo one.
What a mix-up.
And if you like either one of those, make sure to hit that thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment down below. And stick around for the rest of the episode. This week we got a lot on the board, though. We're finally getting into Sinners and Saints. I'm the latter. He's the former.
Why I gotta be a sinner?
I don't know, but I was like, afterward, I was like, damn, I could have done like Latter Day Saints.
But I was trying to do a bar.
Yeah, fresh ass bar if I'd have done it. Damn. Yeah, we all miss sometimes. And then we got a bunch of trailers and whatnot to break down. Sinners, Dante. We hyped it. I think everybody hyped it.
Rightfully so.
The reviews were hyping it. And yeah, it was rightfully so. This is one of those instances where you weren't led astray, you know? Bailey's going through it right now. She's in a nightmare state. This is one of those instances, and I think at this point, is there a better duo in Hollywood than Coogler and Michael B. Jordan? Michael Jordan? Is he actually the best Michael Jordan at this point? Is that a take? That might be a take.
I don't know enough about basketball.
What does he need to do to become synonymous with Michael Jordan? When does he have to drop the B?
No more B's, just Michael Jordan.
Yeah, when does he get to drop the B? Because he only had the B there out of respect, right? That's out of respect. So at what point do you have to say, I'm Adonis Creed, right? Like 3 times now. I was awesome in Black Panther, right? Like I was out here crushing it. I won an Oscar or whatever for Fruitvale, right? Like the guy, I mean, he might be. That's better. That might be better than 6 rings and playing like a little bit of outfield in the MLB.
I guess he'd need 6 Oscars to win, right?
No, I don't think that's the way it works.
No,
because like, what's more important to a person?
That's like the Actors Championship.
Is it though?
Is it not?
Because what's more important in the grand scheme of being a professional actor? I think it depends who you ask. Is it the award or is it the money? Because is Rings topping the box chart, topping like the box office every time you come out? You know, like for a musical artist, is it weeks on top of the billboards or platinum plaques, or is it
so I
Grammys?
Guess it's just basically the clout you bring, right?
Yeah, like I think it's a whole different like thing that you can base it off of. Yeah, because Michael's got other stats too that he's going to be able to point to. I'm sure. You know, you're not a sports guy, so you have to agree he is just Michael Jordan now.
Yeah.
All right, that's the take. That's the take from this pod.
This guy.
And like Michael and Ryan Coogler rather is really the star of this, and he might be the best out there. He might be my favorite director.
No, he's hitting.
And I'm not even saying that, like, I've only watched this movie once. You've seen it twice. And it's been a couple weeks for me. I do need to see it again. I think it's getting pushed out of, I probably actually need to see it today or tomorrow because it's getting pushed out of IMAX for Thunderbolts. So yeah, that's an issue. But there was levels to this that like I still don't think I truly understand. And I think that the beautiful thing about this movie to me is you can love it the first time you watch it for a lot of surface level things and like some of the stuff you can catch on the fly too. Yeah. But you can also, this seems like a movie that you could watch 3, 4, 5 times and still identify things.
On subsequent watches, you can kind of pay attention to different things. Like the first time, it's just the whole mystique of trying to figure out how the story is going to unfold and trying to uncover this or that. Where now the second time you watch it, you know the story and you can kind of pay attention to more minute details such as like character performances or intricacies that were maybe foreshadow it a little early and kind of have fun with that stuff.
I would go as far as say Easter egg visual details. Like, I'm sure there's levels to this movie that people like, for the attention that I know that Ryan Coogler paid to it and the care that was taken into it, that there's levels of viewing it. And honestly, I was just thinking about this right now in like modern times. And I guess like what I mean by that is like the last 10 years or so, or like inevitable that was going to happen. So what I guess what I mean by the last 10 years is like the rise of like YouTube being like a main source of reviewing movies, growing movies' popularity through whether it be podcasts or reaction channels, review channels, everything like that. Easter egg channels, like so much of that being culture of like after a movie comes out or before, like predictions and everything. And so does the perfect movie now, like the masterpiece movie now, have to like hit some type of level with that audience too? And I asked that to say that as a movie like this, the perfect movie, not only for like the person who's a classic cinema like head or something, like, you know, cinephile, like that is
your traditional cinephile that
yeah,
just
like
the movie going experience.
Like in his like I like the acting performances are great, the choices of like view or like, you know, like cinematography where, you know, seeing all of those things is important. But at the same time, to be a perfect film now to like a generation of 20-year-old kids, younger and a little bit older than that, the true audience that you have to speak to is that audience of like breaking it down to like such a myopic or microscopic number.
How discussable is your movie, I guess?
Yeah, I think that creates a whole other level of like, if you can speak to that audience too now, to me, like a movie like this can, that has so much thought put into it and so many layers that it can be broken down from, and like the discussion that I think it can create, in nuanced discussion that I'm not going to begin to sit here and pretend that we could have, right? But I think that there's a lot of it in there with a movie like this, right?
Yeah.
I think that's just, when I'm talking about it now, it seems like what makes it more the most classic thing, maybe like from a unique idea. Because I loved like Dune, I still stand by as like a perfect like cinema experience, but this is like pretty up there.
Honestly, like I was thinking that from just the first few moments of like watching the movie and just being like, wow, this is already shaping up to be something great, just because it gives you a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you got drama, you got comedy, you got romance, you got horror. Like, what more could you ask for?
Well, you know, it's funny. I think about a conversation we had with Dave. I think when Dave watched the trailer the first time with us here, and it showed the vampire aspect of it in the trailer, and he was kind of disappointed by that because it was like, oh, I wonder how the movie would be if you didn't know that was coming. And I think it would still be interesting, maybe if you didn't know like what that looks like. But I do think what this movie does a really interesting thing of doing is that like the vampire thing, the reason that doesn't matter in the trailer so much is
really
like
the hero
it's
of the
like
movie.
It's like a subplot of the you know, like it's like that's not like the forefront of it. It's not a majorly built thing, funny enough, but at the same time it doesn't feel like a part that lacked to me. Like when they went towards that direction, they like really go towards that direction, you know?
Yeah.
But what do you think about that? Do you think you would have what do you think the movie looks like if you didn't know it was a vampire movie? Especially like how it unfolds, yeah.
I mean, for me, I think I would have just been pleasantly surprised and kind of still happy with it. But at the same time, I understand why they do have to kind of let you know, like, hey, there is going to be an aspect to this movie that is a vampire movie, because not everybody does horror. You know what I mean? So, like, while I don't think that's at the forefront of it, there's definitely vampires and there's definitely some mildly gory scenes. And, like, you know, it's I think, necessary information to have.
I agree. Yeah, like I don't think it was to its detriment or to its advantage one way or another.
Yeah.
I think there's an interesting world where I think about the way the movie plays out, because this is one of those perfect examples also of when you have 2.5 hours of a movie and it's used to its like perfect length. Like there's no wasted part of this movie. There's no like fat to it though at the same time. Like for the most part, I think everything led to me caring about something in some regard or another, or a performance that draws you in more. I mean, like, dude, getting to Delroy Lindo in fucking 2025 was awesome. I love that guy. Anywho, Hailee Steinfeld, I wanted to quickly shout out. And if you want to get ready some box office stuff, I just want to, for as far as like the Rotten Tomatoes performance of this chick's career,
Yeah.
I think like her movies choices. So she has Sinners, Spider-Man Across the Universe, Bumblebee, which is 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. The other Spider-Man animated movie, which is another like 98 on Rotten Tomatoes. The Edge of 17 is 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. Pitch Perfect 66%. She has a 77%. When Marnie Was There, which is a 2014 movie, has 92%. Like the woman is
She's doing hitter after hitter.
Yeah, like True Grit, 95%. That's like one of her first movies from 2010. Like,
Damn.
she's picked like 7 movies that are all like 92% or higher, or 91% or higher on Rotten Tomatoes. And while I don't think that is like the perfect scale to tell you whether or not a movie's good or not,
it intrigues me enough to want to know what her movie selection process is like.
Yeah,
you know, as far as like what roles she wants to take.
It will, and I guess that also comes back to like, what does her team look like? Is that like she sits down in a room, they have a whiteboard up with like the ideas of like the 5 different scripts she's being pitched on, and they go through the pros and the cons of like the actors and the actresses she's going to work with, the what the plot's going to do for her, the amount of script or screen time that she's getting from it. Like, what does that look like? Or is it all her? Like, she just reads a script.
I mean, to be fair, like, she's got a decent amount of screen time, but she's definitely not on the forefront.
No, like she's this is definitely, I imagine, I want to work with Ryan Coogler, I want to work with a Michael B. Jordan, like,
Yeah.
or hey, or I have a very good eye, and this came across my table,
Yeah.
and I saw the people attached to it and was like, I should probably set aside time to read that one. And then you read it and you're like,
Hailee Steinfeld
holy
was
shit.
just excited she got invited to the cookout.
She's definitely, I think she's probably got a cookout, well, this is, I can't ask the question.
You don't want to spoil.
Yeah, it doesn't, like, I don't know if it's spoilers or not. So yeah, just not ask the question.
Yeah, okay.
But she's at the cookout. Yeah. Props to her. Props to her. We're all begging for that same invite. She got it a little sooner than most, you know?
Oh God.
What else did you like about this?
It sounds stupid to say, but just about everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like anything from like the cinematography to like the choice of the score, like, you know, just all the performances were really strong. Like, I don't think there was much that I didn't like about it. There was a couple things I think I was thrown off by that I don't know if I can mention because I don't know if it's spoiler, but overall, I'd say this was a great freaking movie.
Yeah.
From a performance standpoint, if we can segue into that real quick, as great as this movie is, not just I think it is, but like you see all the reviews and everything, and everybody seems to agree for the most part that this is a really good movie. The performance almost didn't seem on par with that for the opening weekend. So on a $90 million budget, they opened at $48 million.
Mm-hmm.
But what was surprising was, I guess you hit me to this, it's kind of record breaking, is they didn't really drop off in their second week. So in their second week, they went from 48 million to 43 million.
Yeah. So either the rewatch crowd.
Yeah. Rewatch crowd, or just, you know, the people that, exactly. I was going to say, a little late to the party. They heard the word of mouth. It's like, oh, this is a movie to see. I got to get out there.
I know I got a couple people who don't see like everything in the theater from me being like, yeah, like it's definitely something you should check out.
Yeah, because I definitely get that every so often now too. Like, oh, you go to the movies a lot. What should I go see? I feel like going to watch a movie. And I'm like, yo, check out Sinners.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. and like go out of your way to try and get like a I don't even think you watched the premium format. So
yeah, I watched on Adobe. It's IMAX, but yeah, I don't.
Yeah. I'm talking about premium screen format. I know you got the audio, but this movie is like a nerdy movie for me. I'm becoming, I think, more nerdy about this shit in general. Like,
I've noticed that.
I'm fascinated by directors, I think, now. or creators, I think is the better point to put of this. And I was talking about this the other day. Like, the thing I'm becoming fascinated by now is like Ryan Coogler is the person who created this movie, right? Like, so he read stuff growing up. I can't remember the famous stories, but there's like a blues man that he read about and stuff like that who sold his soul to the devil.
Yeah.
Like all these stories. So he reads about all this stuff thematically and creates an idea, right? The idea is just a thing in his head, though. It's like a seed that grows in his head, and it's a vision that he has implanted in his head. And then he writes a bunch of words down on paper, right? And it becomes an idea. He sells it to people, and then he partners up with a cinematographer and like something to help build the vision. And now this thing that was like a thing in his head, he has to go to locations and like
now bring it to life,
like see his things in his head to see what's going to fit the location. And then they find the location, and now you have to build the set, and not only like build the set, but right down to like little pieces of like paper and shit on that set, like visualize
like all the small details and stuff.
Now you have a set, and now you have to figure out how you're going to bring that world to life. And I think what I appreciate so much about this movie is like listening to Ryan Coogler talk about that vision and being like, yeah, so we set up a one shot that is like going to follow behind you here. So it's going to do this, that, and the other. And it's going to allow you to see all of this, like
kind of bring you into that world.
You see an entire street in the 1930s and without realizing that you're seeing it. And that's going to immerse you into the 1930s. So this whole world feels lived in, and it's without you needing to do huge bits of dialogue in all these different areas. It's just done by a director having a vision and building a set. Like, and think about that. He has to film all of that. So now he has to have detail, like in all of those areas. It's kind of, especially the original ideas like this, it's like a very impressive thing. And I think that's where you come away with a movie that has really strong hold week over week, because those types of visual things are going to get people to keep going. Those are the things that when you talk about like what's going to keep a movie theater alive, like watching him break down the different like cameras that he used to make this, and how it's the first time ever, and like he's reaching out to like his peers that are like at the top of the game to be like, how would you do this, or like what do you think about that, to blend all of these things together, you know? I
respect that like level of humility of not like being the one to be like, oh, it's my movie, I have to have all the answers, and not being afraid to ask for help. I didn't see any of like the behind the scenes stuff you did, but just hearing that little bit like gives me that much more respect for it.
Yeah, and I think the great thing with the taste test that like with us doing it is you like, it just so happened to be that we had watched 1917 and that I had watched this whole one shot thing, and then we had watched the behind the scenes stuff, so it created this other appreciation. So then it carried over into picking up stuff.
You develop more of a thirst for like knowledge on how movies are made.
Dude, even the scene in the dude, there is some mind-blowing stuff. The song, when the song's playing and you're traveling through time, is insane. I don't like, that's not a spoiler, but like it's
not specific enough to be a spoiler.
But like there's like a scene like where music is playing and you are like traveling through time in a room basically though. And that's what I mean. Like even some of the music scenes in general are like 360 one shot like cameras through a room, you know?
But I like that too, you know what I mean?
Because you get to see every little like these different characters, and like they're building like you understanding who they are without again like needing dialogue to necessarily do all those things. You know? Yeah. So I'm not shocked that it had a good carryover, and I think that those things are what holds out to me. The only other thing I would throw out for performance wise, I just want to say there's some crazy competition right now. This past weekend is the first time in almost 2 years that 4 films grossed over $20 million in the box office. So Sinners did $45 million. The Accountant 2 did $24.5 million, which we'll get into maybe a little bit of that movie a little later on. So we'll stick around on that. Minecraft is still hovering at $22.7 million. And then crazy enough, Revenge of the Sith is in a re-release right now. Set the record for the most money grossed on a re-release movie. It did $25 million this weekend. Kind of nuts, right?
Is that one of the better like Star
actually, no,
Wars
I'm sorry.
movies?
It's the second biggest opening of a re-release in history, not the first. It's one that I would have gone, like I was intrigued to maybe consider going, because I think it's one of the ones that in the theater can still hold up. The fight scene towards the end of that movie holds up very well, I have to imagine. So it's one that me generally being negative on a franchise, I would have gone out and saw, and I was looking at maybe doing, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, with that being said, like definitely go see it. It passed the taste test 100%. If you haven't, go see it. If you have seen it, go see it again. I'm going to, and drop some comments down below. Let's do 3, 2, 1. Spoiler. I don't think there's a ton to spoil here, so to speak. I think some of it's tough because it's been a couple weeks since I've seen it that I don't have like super specific stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the specifics aren't really fresh in my mind, but I forget what I was even hinting at earlier, to be honest.
Yeah, so the 2 Michael B. Jordans.
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
That was one of the things that threw me off.
What about it?
Well, it wasn't in the trailer. I didn't know we were going to have it.
Okay.
And just trying to figure out like why it was necessary or how it fit. It at some points I think bothered me a little bit, but not necessarily to a detriment of anything on how the movie was made. I just don't think I like the idea of having one actor play 2 roles.
I think it's a thing of duality, and it's I think that's the rewatchability of the movie is that ideas like that to me were like either good or bad, right? Like the color choices, red and blue, there was a lot of symmetry and duality between the 2 characters that was obviously meant to be like 2 sides of a coin, and like
I get the
like
symbolism behind it. It's just like they could have cast someone else as his brother. You know what I mean? Like
I see, but I don't think it lands the same way.
Doesn't deliver the message.
I also think it allows Michael B. Jordan to even watching him talk about this movie and like the things that he had to do to try and like just make distinctions
between the 2 characters
between them, and like things that he thought of to like that are subtle like gestures that you don't even like when you hear people talk about it. And I think again, it's just like the fascination with this stuff when you talk about like real actors and like really good actors who understand that like what they're doing and have been a student of that craft for enough time now. And I think he would certainly qualify as a guy who has been a student of the craft at this point, right?
Yeah.
Talk about like just whether it's like their idea of like how they smoke a cigarette, like just like down to like the smallest thing can be like a focus for them of like how, and like he has to figure out all those distinctions that he's going to create. And I think on both ends, like both characters feel really well developed, and I think he carried them well. I could see where like not going into it and expecting it though is like a distraction initially, maybe in a way.
I think that's probably the best way to put it, is it was a distraction. Like I don't want to make it sound like I'm being like negative on it. It throws me off every time I see it. Especially like where like you have both iterations of Michael B. Jordan on screen at the same time.
Yeah. How'd you like all the music was great, right?
Loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. All of it was very good.
Yeah.
It was a vibe. And that young kid is impressive as hell.
The blues player.
Yeah. Really good. We're jumping around a ton. But you mentioned the blues. I'm like hiccuping my Red Bull right now. It's brutal. Yeah, the blues player. What do you think of? I think it's been a little bit of a controversy, like the way they handled the post credits.
Trying to remember.
Like the length
comes back to see him later.
The length of it, like like basically putting like an entire.
It should have just been a scene in the movie. Like it shouldn't have been a post credit kind of thing.
Yeah, like that. Like I don't know if I consider it a post credit or not. I will say that like I ended up in a weird spot though, where the movie ended and I got up like going to walk out, trying to beat the crowd. And then all of a sudden, I'm at the exit, and me and this one other dude, like he's on the steps, and I'm like right here, and that scene starts playing. So we ended up standing there for 2.5 minutes, basically 3 minutes, watching that whole scene. So that I can get where it felt a little long, like especially like that I had already started to walk out. It is weird getting like it's not your traditional post credit, so to speak.
Yeah, and usually I'm pretty good about like Googling if a movie's gonna have a post credit and know when to like stick around and whatnot. But like
I didn't even do it for that.
I just feel like lately, like they haven't really been overdoing it as much, and I just didn't feel like this was a movie that needed a post credit. Like that could have just been in the movie before the credits.
But I understand. I don't like again. I don't know if it's technically like I think
it's a mid credit.
The guitar is like would be more your traditional post credit. It is weird, but like there's some visual things from it that so like there's the idea that there's no you don't see a reflection in the mirror in front of him. So the idea that he's already sold his soul to the devil at that point.
Oh, damn. I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah. So like that is potentially that the reason he's playing music again and is still touring and everything is that he essentially like
became a vampire.
He traded away his life for music, like you have music his whole life, you know? So like that's one of the like theories is that if you look in the mirror, he doesn't have a reflection. So he may already be one, but then at the same time, like Michael B. Jordan's definitely like considering eating him. Hailee, I like modern day Hailee Steinfeld. I didn't think I liked modern day Michael B. Jordan, like TikTok stars,
Fresh Princess.
Yeah, like TikTok star, like grills with like the corny glasses and shit. I don't know, like that was a little weird. The other one was like people weren't 100% sure that like Hailee Steinfeld. It's not 100% clear that she got out. You knew that he had let him live, though, I assume, right? Like that wasn't a surprise to you. That one Michael B. Jordan let the other Michael B. Jordan live.
Oh yeah.
I knew that was gonna be an outcome.
The funny thing too is like the meme that's been going around of like the scene when they first show up to the party, and they're basically like, oh, like this is an all black party, and it's like, oh, but they got a white girl over there, and you got like Hailee Steinfeld looking around like, who? Where? Me? There's a white girl here?
I like to think that'd be me. If you watched my facial expression, if I was at that party, I would do the same. Like I would. That would be me in there, and nobody would acknowledge it. Shut the fuck up. The person I hate, my least favorite person award.
Oh.
The wife. I think she's the one we all have to hate, right? Like, I get that she was pissed, but like inviting them in was like that's fucked up, you know? Like that wasn't cool. My letterbox is signed out. I was trying to pull up my letterbox here, and I don't know what my like sign in is, so I might be screwed forever if we're being honest.
Oh god. Well, here you go.
I just wanted to see what the score was, really.
Oh.
If it's still pretty high, right?
Yeah. It's up there.
4.2.
Yeah.
It's one of the best ones they've gotten, right? Yeah, the Asian wife is the worst.
Because she's Asian? Like, what was that detail?
That was third on my list. Wasn't my top two.
We're back to trying to get canceled? Yeah.
You did that. Like, you didn't have to do that to me. You didn't have to do that to me. You did that to me. So, yeah.
Why was that distinction necessary?
Because I had to make sure we knew the wife that I was talking about. It wasn't like his wife. I could have used another describing factor. Michael B. Jordan be getting it on in this movie, too, by the way. And, like...
And Hailee too. Come on.
Yeah, she was doing work. Good for her. And the other girl who was married, never got to like. She was a sinner. There were a lot of sinners in this movie. I think the whole
point is they're all sinners.
Is it that deep?
Yeah.
Okay. Not the people in the church.
They're sinners in their own right.
This is the best movie I've seen all year. It's number one on the list for me this week.
100%.
Also for you, yeah. I haven't ranked it, and then I can't sign in my letterbox, but it's a 4-star movie, probably a 4.5-star movie if I had to guess. I think I'm gonna put it in at 4.5 stars.
I have it at 4.5 stars.
It's gonna be peak for the year. Yeah. Hopefully we get some more of those this year. But it's nice. It's nice. April into May is starting to look like it's rounding pretty nicely out.
Yeah.
Because we're already hearing like some opening good stuff about Thunderbolts already too.
Yeah.
Reviews are already coming out pretty solid on it. Yeah. And we got Mission Impossible at the end of the month. So a lot of really good stuff happening. Let's talk trailers though, shall we? Really quick.
We shall.
Which ones did we watch? Oh, Smashing Machine. Let's start there. The perfect A24 movie. The Rock was like, hey, I am trash at this now. Well, maybe I always was trash at it, and like the people don't really like me anymore. I should stop just being the same unlikable kind of douchebag in a lot of the movies that I do, and let me try to do some serious shit.
Yeah.
And like, if I'm gonna do serious shit, like A24 is almost guaranteed to get me praise. Like it's a cheat code at this point to do like an A24 movie. And quite frankly, to do a combat sports / wrestling A24 thing, I think
because
you're already
kind of lends to his wheelhouse. Yeah,
I think you're already cheat coding it a little bit. I think overall he looks to be doing very well in this movie. It's hard for me to say that this movie looks fantastic because it looks like I could watch any A24 trailer that was ever made, and this looks just like it. Like I really like A24, and this might be more of a beef with them on this particular note. Everything is the same. Like, the tone of all of their trailers are the same.
Yeah, because it's either like,
dude,
horror.
whether they're horror or if they're sad, like I feel like they're all kind of like the same, like color scheme and like tonality, and like the way they're filmed all kind of look the same. I don't know, like they all like, it's a weird thing,
gritty, like almost washed look to it.
And this isn't like, I'm not trying to say this also like it's necessarily a bad thing, because I think generally speaking we're positive on every single A24 movie, and I think the public is pretty positive on almost all of the A24 movies. But yeah, this just felt cookie cutter to me, but it's gonna be good.
It could still be, yeah.
I think he looks like he's taking it very seriously. I think he can probably really act, if I'm being honest. Like,
yeah.
And it'll be nice change of pace for him.
And I said The Rock with hair seems less annoying.
Yeah, like, but that's what I mean, right? Like, it just doesn't, like, it seems like a departure from it's not as Look at Me. It's not as like pick me of a movie. Although it is kind of a pick me movie at the same time, to be like, look at me, I'm The Rock doing an A24 movie.
I'm the underdog. Feel for me. Yeah.
It's just like so there's that one. I Know What You Did Last Summer. So you have never seen the movies. You asked me if this was a
sequel or a remake.
Yeah, a sequel or a remake. It is. So it is a sequel in the sense that, like, so we got two original returning characters in this, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Julie.
Fondle them.
I can't pull a name. That's so bad. Jennifer Love Hewitt. Thank you. That's the name. Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yeah, so you got the return of two OG characters, the leads of the original two movies. There's actually at least 3 movies in this franchise, but the third one's not like canon. Okay. And at least in what I assume they're doing here, because I don't think anybody's ever seen the third movie. I own it only because I bought like the
trilogy
on sale
like
trilogy,
or whatever. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the first one. The second one's good too for the most part. It's fine, Brandy's in it. Brandy's in it, and then there's also like a white dude with dreads who smokes a lot of weed. It was that time of the world.
Okay. Okay.
You had to have that in the movie in some way.
I'm just picturing Y2K.
Just like sprinkle it in. Yeah, it's that. It's 100% that. Here's my thing. There's a couple issues. I want to start with the movie. The trailer weirdly starts like Scream. I thought that's like a weird choice to, like, if you go and watch like the original Drew Barrymore Scream movie, like the shot out the window out to like the back patio looks pretty identical to what I remember that Drew Barrymore shot looking like, and like he gets a phone call, right, and like they turn the lights on. Like, it's just a weird, maybe it's intentional, but that felt a little odd to me. I like that it seems like they're upping the kills. You kind of have to if you're going to do a movie 20 or 30 years later. I don't know how this is, like, it's not going to be a convoluted connection when the whole original plot is pretty convoluted. Like, you ran over somebody, buried the body so you didn't get caught, and then a year later people start dying that were associated with it. You've already made a sequel to that convoluted plot, and now 30 years later you're attached to another random death of a person that's going to result in
is it like a whole new like mercy killing spree,
or
is it like,
but like, so either way, Dante, it's like,
should this be I Know What You Did 30 summers ago?
Like, so it's not connected, and what I imagine they're going to do is kind of similar to what Scream did, where it's like this new group of kids is dealing with this and they have to go and ask the pros, hey, hey, you've dealt with this before.
And
like
it's a new killer. And,
yeah, and now you have to make the decision of do you kill off the OG characters or do you keep them alive? But the problem is you run into the same issue that Scream ran into, right? Is if you keep them alive, there's always going to be a small but loud demographic of your fan base that's going to always question why not you just make the movies with the originals instead of trying to just feature them in a movie with new characters. Which leads me to my next point. Madelyn Cline. We're a Madelyn Cline podcast. We have been. I might be the first Madelyn Cline fan.
The first?
No, that's a lie because, like, obviously somebody saw her in Stranger Things, like, a few years before Outer Banks. And then, obviously, like, we all saw Outer Banks probably around the same time. But I was one of the first dudes on Outer Banks. Is that fair to say?
No.
What?
It can't be true.
Why? Why is it not true? What do you, okay, like, what does that mean? How can you definitively say that that's not true?
How can you definitively say that it is?
Because I saw the show and put everybody else onto it.
So you're locally the first Madelyn Cline fan.
No, I would say, generally speaking, I didn't say the Madelyn Cline part so much as like I'm more offended at you saying that I probably wasn't like the first male I was one of the first male Outer Banks fans. Like I was there early for the men.
For the men.
That's all I'm saying.
You were there for Chase Stokes?
Yeah, you know that. Yeah. I'm not that. JJ, yeah. Fuck yeah. Rudy Panko, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Madelyn Cline. I cannot tell what I think she's going to be as far as success for an actress. Because for the past like 5 years, she's been positioned in some big movies, but not in big roles in big movies. You think of like Glass Onion or something. I was going to say,
yeah, like the last like Knives Out or whatever.
Yeah, like, and I think with as Outer Banks gets to its last season and like ends off and everything, she'll probably take on bigger roles in maybe some bigger movies. But I don't know, where are you at? I guess I'll ask first. Like, do you still see her in like after watching a trailer like this? Do you see her as a person who's going to make that transition to being a big actress, or is she gonna kind of just be of
I think it's
a certain
tough
level?
Because like I like her and I would love to see her transcend to that stature, but ultimately I just think she's gonna end up being right around where she's at. I don't really think she's gonna have much of a trajectory because I think she's too similar to the roles that Sydney Sweeney's gonna end up eating up.
I think two things have to happen here. Like, I my concern is this. I think that what I saw in the trailer here feels fairly similar to the character that I saw in Glass Onion, the Knives Out sequel. So, like, are you going to get typecast? And when you are in a big movie, are you going to get typecast into the airhead, popular chick who, like, I look at this movie and I can't figure out. I think that she was the most talkative visual standout in that trailer, right? They gave her the most like lines and look. Yeah. I think that that's a red herring and she's not the main character. I'm pretty sure she's going to die. Like I feel like they wouldn't show you that.
Is she not like final girl? Like
I feel like it's probably the other girl. Is it Camila Mendez or something like that? Can you look up the cast real quick? And I think that there's the other girl that they're red herring you. So like, especially if that happens. But even if she's the final girl in this, I just don't know if this is a great choice for like a leading role to attach yourself to either. Because then if this movie happens and people don't care about it and it doesn't get a sequel, well, now you are just in the other reboot horror franchise that didn't do good, you know, like you're kind of attached to that. I think the real route that she should go, and she has one coming out, she has a rom-com that she has coming out next year. I think she should really just be like doing more of that route.
Is that the girl you were talking about?
Yeah, probably.
Chase, whatever.
I'm a big Lola Tongue fan. She's probably not the lead girl, but yeah, it could be that other girl there. Maybe it's Lola Tongue. That'd be dope if it was Lola Tongue.
That's her actual name.
I mean, it probably could be her SAG name.
Okay.
Just something to keep an eye out. I would like to see Madelyn Cline do more of the rom-com route and like establish herself like in movies where she's got to be on the screen as the leading role. Like, I just think you'd get a better idea too. Like, in all these other movies, even that cast, like, there's a lot of people in that cast. Like, you've got to contend with a lot there. And I don't know. She is the most famous, but that's why I think she's not the actual final girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, people would have thought Drew Barrymore, the Scream things again. Like, people thought Drew Barrymore was going to be the final girl, and she's killed off in the first 10 minutes, you know? Okay, in the last trailer, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. That's a bad sign. Did you really
have to cover your eyes while you said that?
I mean, that wasn't intentional. That's a bad sign, though. I'll just throw this out there. If you're dusting off that name, it just feels like you jumped the shark.
Jump the shark? Is that an actual phrase?
Yeah, look it up. Google it.
No, I'm not going to, but sure.
Yeah, like you've just like gone, like you've passed your expiration date. Like you've stuck around too long. Like you're trying too hard. Like
was anybody asking for a third one of these movies?
That's my question.
Yeah.
The note I took when we were watching this trailer, I remember liking both the first and the second ones of this movie. But I think two things. I think the second movie came out, everybody was like, huh. The first one was fine, but I'm kind of surprised they're getting as the second one. And then I think we're in the same spot again where like the third one's coming and you're like, yeah, the first two were like decent enough movies. Like, you know,
I think the biggest thing, right, is like, I think these are great streaming movies.
Funny enough, what I was going to say to you, these movies in my head are the perfect movies if cable still existed.
Yeah.
These movies are the perfect, like you're scrolling through on Wednesday afternoon on TNT
or FX.
3:30 in the afternoon, and you catch the middle of Now You See Me, and you're like,
bet.
I don't even remember the last time I saw this movie. Like, I don't remember any of the plots about it, and like some stuff starts piecing together as you're watching the movie, and then next thing you know it, you've sat through a commercial to watch the next like little part of, you know, like that's what these movies existed, because I don't even think they're good streaming movies in a sense that like I don't think you're scrolling through all the stuff on streaming and stop on Now You See Me, because I haven't watched it in 10 years and I think that would have been, you know, I like them too, dude. I like Jesse Eisenberg, I like Isla Fisher, I like Woody Harrelson, I like Dave Franco, I like the cast. Isn't Mark Ruffalo in them too?
Is he?
Pretty sure he's in at least the second one. Yeah, like I like a lot about Morgan. Yeah. Oh, that's my other note. I have another note. But yeah, as far as the movie itself, this was like, tell me a trilogy that you could name that is more like, wow, I can't believe we got 3 of these. And it's not like hey, these movies are terrible. You know, the other franchise that maybe stands out, but it makes more sense that got 3 of them was the what's that trilogy you watched recently where they stopped making them?
Divergent?
Yes.
No. Yeah.
Yes. Like but that makes more sense to me because it came out around the same time as like Harry Potter ends. We get the Hunger Games. Like they're trying to make like teen franchise, the Maze Runner's coming out, like all these things, you know? So that's more like explainable to me why that movie.
I mean, that was also based on books too. So like it like, more easily justifies having multiple movies.
They just weren't successful. And it's like, why'd you get more? But like this one is like, I guess it was successful enough. Like, I don't think that any one of the first 2 were like box office smashes. I just think that like the company's like, hey, we can make $30 million every time we make one of these movies. We'll just.
Are you making $30 million though?
Dante, if they are making 3 of them, they're making money. That's why you do it, right?
Okay.
So that's my point. Like they're not making exorbitant amounts of money, but they're making.
I don't think they're making the money on the box office front. They must be making it on the back end off of streaming.
Whatever it is, that's where I'm telling you that like. They're saying this is the safest bet where like they're not expecting to make a high ceiling. They just know that the floor is pretty safe to just keep doing it. Yeah. So hey, we might just make $30 million every time we make a Now You See Me movie. But that's better than chancing losing 60 million making something that we know nothing about, you know? The Morgan Freeman front. My note was just, I can't believe this man hasn't retired or he isn't dead yet. That was my note.
Jesus Christ.
I love him. He's 90, dude. And like, I think he's AI. Like, if I'm being honest.
He's not real.
If I'm being honest, I think he might be AI. I think that like he, because he looked too healthy in this trailer for the 3 seconds I saw him. Although there was a video that I just saw the other day, 100%. But there was a video I saw the other day of like maybe it's like Penn State or something like that. Does like a relay race, and there was an 85-year-old division. That's nuts. There's some of them moving. Some of them are running fast out there.
Shit. Not breaking kneecaps.
But yeah, like Morgan Freeman, dude, like he, first of all, didn't he like flip his car like 8 years ago and he's somehow fine?
I didn't know about that. Oh, you think he made a deal with the devil?
Yes, first of all.
Can he see his reflection?
I got to double check. I haven't seen him walk by any plaques or mirrors. So I'm pretty sure he rolled his car and we were all kind of like, oh, that's not good. He's already really old. Like, I'm pretty sure I thought he was 85 when he rolled his car. And somehow it's not only that like Morgan Freeman for the better part of the past 15 years, like just is still in movies. It's that he's in 50 movies a year still. It's that he still somehow is able to like act in the volume of movies that he's in. Which leads me to another question. Like, is he just in immense debt? Like, I don't think that it's for love of the game.
At this point.
Unless he's saying to himself, like, that's why he's still alive. Like, because if I stop moving, if I stop doing it, then, like...
And he stops giving himself a reason to live on.
Yeah, like he's just not moving as much. And, yeah, his health, like, goes down. And because of the rhythm that he's in, he's, like, an established health level, I suppose. Maybe that's what he tells himself. But can you find out his actual age? Like, he has to be 90, right?
I think you're on the money on that.
It's what year is it? 2025.
Yeah.
So you think
all year?
So he was born like you think he was born in like 1925, 1935, 1940, 1920. Like what do you think? 1935 to 1940, somewhere in there.
Oh, he's 87.
Okay.
So 1937.
That's old.
Yeah, that's up there.
Like he made it through the pandemic.
Well, yeah. Most recently.
Honestly, some of the truthers out there that thought it wasn't real could have probably put his picture up there and been like, how'd he get out? He acted all the way through this. Like he was out in the public left and right. I know he did movies during that time.
He was masked up.
Yeah,
he
probably.
has his KN95 on.
It must have been. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how Morgan Freeman does it. And I'm not hating. I just don't understand how he does it. I can't piece together how he does it. You have any thoughts? Do you want to be alive at that point?
I don't know, but I really don't think so.
I think he would like if you knew that you were going to be able to still be like acting to a level.
I just don't know if I'm going to be healthy enough to live that long.
But I'm talking about like if you like him, like if you were going to live to be like him. Like he is healthy enough to still like not only healthy enough physically, I think it deserves credit that his mind is sharp enough to like, whether it is that he recalls the lines, maybe somebody gives him the lines before he does the scenes, but even if that's the fact that somebody gives him like a page of dialogue for him to remember right before he goes out there because he can't remember like long things of it, just to go out there and be able to still memorize that page and act and like give a performance at 87 years old is pretty fucking like impressive. Who's the oldest actors to go? Like Betty White had to have been going pretty late into her life, right? Brando, I imagine, probably did some shit pretty late into his life.
I mean, you know names better than I do. I mean, I'm seeing Clint Eastwood.
Oh, Clint, yeah, I forgot about Clint. Clint's an old
He's
dog.
up there, yeah.
How old is he?
He is born in 1930, so 95.
When was the last time he did an actual movie? Because I think he's done formally. Was he in like The Juror or something, maybe? He directed The Juror?
I think he's moved more into directing recently. I don't know when his last acting role was.
Trouble with the Curve, maybe? You think it was that?
Let me just pull him up on IMDb real quick and see what his last acting role was.
The Mule.
The Mule.
Was that right?
No.
Damn.
So The Mule was 2018. He did Cry Macho in 2021. Movie nobody's ever heard of and ever will ever again.
That's the only other thing.
That's the last thing he did, yeah.
Okay.
Acting wise.
So he basically got out at the same age that Morgan's at now.
Well, that was 4 years ago. So by that logic, Morgan's got 4 more years.
But they're not the same age, is my point.
I'm saying
he's older
Clint
than...
Eastwood acted up until he was 91.
Oh, up
91.
until he was 91.
Yeah, he was 91 in that.
So he's not 91 now.
He's 95 now.
And he's still directing.
Yeah.
What was in the water, dude? You think he's one of the ones that was living off kids' blood?
They tap the fountain of youth?
Yeah. Like, do you think that, like, what do you think? They drink their bone marrow? What do they generally do?
Is that a real thing?
I'm pretty sure that's what they do. Feels right.
Huh. What bars are serving child's bone marrow?
I think they're in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pull up to some
I think that's why people go to Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai.
Yeah, I think it's on at least like the 78th floor of the Burj Khalifa.
And they're just taking shots of children's bone marrow.
Yeah. Yeah, directly into
keep coming.
Directly into their ass.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was thinking like drinking a shot. Oh, dude. Okay.
Yep. Gets the bloodstream faster that way.
They're butt chugging it.
Yeah. Yep, they're butt yugging. they're boofing kids' bone marrow.
Oh my god, this is insane. How did we get here?
How'd you get there is the question. The Accountant 2, it made $24.5 million domestically this past weekend, almost the exact same as The Accountant's opening back in 2016. This is a movie that I have not seen. Quite like Dante hadn't seen the original or heard of it prior to 2 weeks ago. So, Dante, let's start there. You've seen this movie. Did you watch the first one first?
Yes.
Okay. What did you think after you watched the first one? Damn, Ben Affleck really is autistic.
Nah. Honestly, I was just like, oh, yeah, cool. This is fine. Like, I like it, but I can also see the sentiment where it's like, this didn't need a sequel.
You can also see the sentiment from that kid I watched that did like a whole video series about autism in movies, where he was like, hey, autism's not a superpower.
Oh, in this movie it is.
It's crazy. Like, that's the one crazy thing about these movies. Yeah. It's like yeah, whatever. I don't have it. So
they had like a name for them. I forget what it was. It was like something. Fuck, I forget. Whatever it was. The acronym was ASS.
Oh, okay.
But I forget what they called them. But basically, they were like smart.
Sick. So yeah, the first one was a sneaky movie. It snuck by you all the way from 2018 till 2025. Made it 7 years without even knowing about it. So you watched it, you thought it was fine, but it was like, hey, what was the point of a sequel happening? You've now seen the sequel. Did this sequel end up being just an excuse for Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal to make a movie together?
It felt like that.
Yeah.
I will say I do like the sequel more than the first one, I think. I think it gives you a little bit more action, which made it a little bit more exciting. And also, I love Jon Bernthal. I think he's fucking hilarious in this movie. Like,
he's really good in general.
Yeah.
I mean, in first credit, like, I can insult like things about it, but I'd like Ben Affleck. Like, yeah. I mean, maybe it's like the Homer part of it too, where it's like, hey, that's one of our guys, you know, in a way.
I get you.
And he's one of the ones where like he kind of personifies like Boston in the most ways. Like the things of him just being like pissed off on the side of the road smoking a cigarette is like very relatable, you know?
He puts on for Boston the most, I think.
Yeah. He's the one still like showing up for Duncan, you know?
Yeah.
He's still running on it.
Yeah, the Dunkings.
Yeah, so maybe that's what it is he's the one like we don't want to claim fucking Wahlberg, so California or Florida can have him, I'm pretty sure. We have a Chinatown now. Yeah, we have a Chinatown. It wouldn't work out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't they have one everywhere?
Yeah, probably. Do you think there's a Chinatown in Florida?
There's got to be.
Hella gator.
Like
they're just cooking gator. Everything.
Crazy that you just think they only want to cook stray animals. Like, you're the problem.
That's not a stray animal, dude. They're not pets. Like they that's a wild animal, actually, buddy. Like they're naturally wild. They didn't get out. So you're fucked up,
You
and I'm
might
not.
be onto something.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that
I'm
like
sure there's somebody in Florida that has a pet gator. So.
100% that's accurate, but I'm not saying they intentionally are only eating the ones that are owned by people. I only like domesticated gators. They taste better.
More tender.
Yeah. They've lived a more lavish lifestyle. They don't have to walk around as much. The meat's
to
really
be fair, gator nuggets and all that stuff, like they do actually cook gators. So.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's all. And so in my head, like Chinatown in Florida would just be all the different ways you could cook gator.
Gator fried rice.
It's just stews everywhere. That is a weird thought. Like, does everywhere? Can you look up like the Chinatown in all 50 states? That's gonna be a slideshow, right? BuzzFeed probably did that at some point.
Oh my god,
that feels like a thing.
What even would the slideshow be? Like sometimes the stuff you have me look up just doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Can you really quickly just tell the people? Does the Accountant 2 pass the taste test, and should I go and see it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good. While you look that out, I just want to give a quick shout out. Emma Mackey from Sex Ed, TV show I very, very much like. Another one that I was first to. I've been an Emma Mackey stan for a while now. She's been cast as the White Witch in the new Narnia movie.
They're doing a new Narnia movie?
Yeah. Are you a Narnia guy?
I know I've seen it. I don't think I was ever a huge fan of it. I think it was fine.
Yeah, I liked the first couple movies, and then they just didn't make the rest of them, right? Because there's like 5 or 6 books or something. They were fun. I'm not a religious person, so I don't really understand them so much, but I'm pretty sure they're heavily religious implication to those stories.
Maybe, I don't know. Last time I watched it, I was a child and wasn't thinking about that stuff.
I'm pretty sure the lion is God.
Oh.
But then, so Greta...
So who's the witch?
Who has the kid?
Oh, Mary?
Yeah, probably her.
All right, who's the wardrobe?
No, the woman's got to keep her clothes somewhere. This is being done by Greta. Is it like Gertwig, the chick from Barbie? Yeah, Barbie chick. And people are already like, "Oh, what are you going to do to this religious thing we didn't really like enough to see the whole thing the first time?" People are already up in arms is basically my point. The same thing as talking about like Harry Potter and shit. Like, It happens. But yeah, shout out to her. Did you find me a slideshow?
No, I did not.
There's no slideshow?
No, but also I did learn just from quick Google search that not all 50 states have a Chinatown. So
did you find out which ones didn't, just so we know where to avoid? I'm not down with that. I'm all about inclusion.
Oh my god.
Hey, what do you? I'm just dragging this out now. This isn't even a topic I had written down. I just wanted to ask. Titanfall. Do you remember that game?
Yes.
Were you a fan?
Yes.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
A game that I thought could have been like actually in real time. Now
I didn't actually play the first one. I only played Titanfall 2.
I played both. Like, I thought the mech suit idea was sick. Like, so first of all, the idea of being able to play, like, you could play as a regular soldier, right? And then you could get into the mech suits, I think. And then the mech suits being able to run on the walls and all that shit was all It was
basically Apex.
Yeah, like, just the movement was all super clean.
But I'm saying it's basically Apex.
But without the different characters, I feel like, right? Like, it was just, you just all had mechs.
I feel like some of the characters... Like, you could see, like, similarities.
I know the wall running... They
weren't there by namesake, but...
The wall running and stuff like that was all, like, for its time, very ahead of stuff. And it was all a lot of fun. They had a third game in the works. It just got canceled. That kind of bummed me out a little bit. Because I think there's a world where that could... Where we're growing to, like, the idea of large-scale, like, if you were going to do, like, large-scale BR, for instance... Like the idea of having like mechs or something in a BR where you have like these massive like worlds.
Almost like Apex meets Battlefield.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. Yeah.
They'd basically be that.
But yeah, I just think that'd be cool, like a cool twist on the BR world is to have like these larger mech suits that you could play around with. Made me think. But yeah, it's not happening. No Titanfall 3 got canceled. Damn. EA and whoever else was producing it, which the fact that EA was attached to it was never going to be good. Yeah, like it was a fucking downfall from the beginning. All right, so quick little preview going forward. We have no taste test, so to speak, this week. We just did Sinners. We are going to be preparing for the final franchise or final movie potentially in the Mission Impossible franchise by getting Dante up to date on the franchise itself. The movies Dante has seen in the Mission Impossible franchise now are 1, 2,
and
3, and then you've seen 7.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to have to expedite some stuff. So what we're going to be doing is having Dante watch 5 and 6. Because that kind of runs into 7, which he's already seen, and then he's up to date on everything. Just for the people out there, I do realize that 4 is incredible and has maybe some of the best visual scenes in all of the movie, but I got to work with what I work with here, you know, and this is what I work with. So,
what you mean by that?
What
you mean by that?
That was a conversation between us.
But I'm right here.
You weren't supposed to listen. That was just me and the audience thing.
All right, you know what? There's a bone to pick with you and y'all.
Here's the deal. A and B conversation.
See your way out.
See your ass out of here, biatch.
See you next
Get back
Tuesday.
on that Obi Trice subreddit. No gimmicks. And until next week, until then, so starting off with the 5th. Until next week, though, until then, like, comment, share, and subscribe. It's been real. We love you. We bid you. Fale.
Peace.
Laugh for it. Bang, bang.
Ski ski.
For those with good taste.
You said, what's the laugh for? What the fuck was that?